batter, coming off a year in which he had 56 home runs.
It is gone! First step to another 50. Se va de cuadrangular! It is gone! Number 3 on the night. Schwarber exit stage right. 32 on the season. Consider at the time that he signed with Philadelphia, his most homers in a single season, Kyle Schwarber, was 38. His home run totals in his first 4 years with the Phillies, 46, 47, 38, and 56. And he is, as the great Tom McCarthy stated on the first one, headed towards another 50-plus years. Speaking of 50, that's exactly where the White Sox find themselves, and who would have had them at first in the AL Central. Meantime, it is the Marlins making it already crowded NL East even more so. They're just 4 games back in the division. Well, the Dodgers always score a lot of runs, but the Nationals and the Pirates, Washington's offense is a blast to watch. And of course, Pittsburgh has been overshadowed by Skeens and company. The American League is crowded. 5 teams above 500. That's it. 6 are within 3.5 games of the third wild card. But it's the National League we focus on, and the Phillies, you know, in the rearview mirror. Here come the Dodgers. They'll be in town Monday night. We'll have the Dodgers and Phillies Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So Ohtani will be back on the field. And that guy right there, Bryce Harper, who was very front and center during the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game, he will be wearing a microphone for us. We'll talk with him during the second inning. You can ask Bryce a question. We use the hashtag AskBryce, and we will do our best to make sure we get your questions to the Philadelphia Phillies All-Star first baseman. Those trade deadlines coming up as well, and both these teams could very well be involved. The Phillies as a buyer and the Mets as a seller.
Yeah, both teams could be involved, and one could be looking at to improve their farm system, and the other one could be giving up pieces of their farm system to be able to not only catch the Atlanta Braves, but be able to represent well with one of the best 2 records in the National League.
Yeah, Dave Dombrowski very aggressive in general when he feels like his team has a chance. His team has certainly shown him that they think they have a chance.
Got a chance.
Played ball, you know, over the course of the last month and a half. Zach Wheeler throwing the ball tremendously well. I know they got the bad news about Keller today, but there's a lot to like about this Phillies club.
Yeah, Keller lost for the season. Buster, what's the latest that you can tell us about the 2 teams?
Yeah, with the Phillies, of course, there are really 3 priorities at this point. One is starting pitcher, a guy who could be a number 3, number 4 type starter. You wonder if a Clay Holmes, Freddie Peralta on the Mets might be that type of player. Maybe a right-hand hitting outfielder and a bullpen piece. And on the Mets side, look, it's going to be about taking advantage of the market when there are very few sellers and moving a Peralta, maybe moving a Holmes, Brooks Raley, A.J. Minter. The Mets and the Phillies will be busy before the trade deadline 18 days from now, Carl.
Yeah, there were 36 trades on the deadline last year and over 60 in the week leading up to and including the day of the deadline. Aaron Nola's going to be on the mound tonight, the veteran righty, 3-6 with a 5.75 ERA. But there are some signs, Adam, that he is trending in the right direction.
Yeah, you're right, Carl. Last 2 starts, 15 strikeouts, only 2 walks. That's always a good indication that you're doing something right out there. You know, Aaron Nola, we know about him. He's got a big pitch mix. He really knows what he's doing. He's been a workhorse throughout his career. For me right now, like, the curveball's still an elite pitch. It's still a plus pitch. It's what he's going to lean on. You know, when given a choice, he's going to head curveball. But I think what you're looking for tonight is how much he utilizes those fastballs and really how precise he is on the corners. Him and JT Realmuto have worked a long time together. And I think they can navigate this lineup, but they have to be very precise.
All right, let's get to that lineup. Starting lineup tonight brought to you by Alexa Plus. Very encouraged and excited about what Ewing can do and what Carson Bench can do. There are 3 superstars in between those 2, and then you get to the bottom of the order.
Yeah, and second time around for A.J. Ewing against Aaron Nola. Went 2 for 3 the first time that he faced him. Really quick swing, and they love the way that he's been able to adjust and belong. And that guy behind him, Juan Soto, has really helped not only him but Bench as well, just acclimate and be an integral part of this lineup.
Temperature in the low 90s and smoke in the air. It feels like it is over 100 degrees out there. Thus, we move the game up an hour in an effort to avoid what may be worsening conditions with the wind shift as the night goes on. For Nola and his defense, you heard Otto mention it. He throws to Real Muto. Alec Bohm is at third. Turner is at short. Bryson Stott second base, and Harper at first, with Brandon Marsh in left, Justin Crawford in center field, and Gabriel Rincones is in right. And here is Ewing, who has had great success against the cutter, balls that move a little bit. And Nola, of course, with his knuckle curve, one of the hardest ones to hit. Very little wind blowing currently as we're set to start the second half of this Major League Baseball season.
Down.
Down. You can hear our home plate umpire, Dan Iasonia, gets the assignment tonight. 1 ball, no strikes. Ewing 276 on the season. And you talk to the manager, Andy Green, about both the young guys afraid of nothing. Nola fires another one in there for a strike.
I love the reaction immediately by A.J. Ewing. First one was down. This one was further down, gets the call, and he takes his time. He asks for time right there. Just really, it's a mature, advanced approach that he has with a very short swing at the plate.
And a little early for an ABS challenge right out of the gate. The 1-1 swing and a miss there. Look at that ball move away. That changeup, terrific.
That's going to have to be another part of the attack from Aaron Nola. That changeup's also been quite effective this year. I think the usage will continue to rise as the season wears on.
57 career Major League games. That's it for A.J. Ewing. He's reached in 43 of them, but he will not there. Back-to-back changeups. Adam to pick up strikeout number 1.
Yeah, you know, that call a little bit below the zone really set up these 2 changeups. Once that pitch is called a strike, Ewing has to respect the bottom of the zone, that trajectory coming out of the hand, and Nola executes really, really well. That ball looks like it's going to be at the bottom of the zone and finishes below.
Here is one of the great hitters of our time. That is Juan Soto. Aaron Nola knows it. He has given up 5 home runs to Juan Soto over the course of their meetings. Will not offer it the first one. It is down at 4-seamer. It's ticked up a little bit, about a mile an hour in velocity. And there are a myriad of ways to show just how superior a hitter Juan Soto is when you compare him to virtually everyone else. 1-1. There is that curveball.
You're going to see a lot of it.
The 5 home runs allowed. Sorry, Eduardo. The 5 home runs allowed. No shame in that. I mean, Juan Soto's that good. He's done that to a lot of people.
The 1-1. And I think he went to challenge it right away. Was curious, was that a swing? So no challenge. It was on the swing.
He was right on the other one, though.
Yeah, he was if he went there, but he didn't.
Maybe soon we will be doing the challenge on the
on a check swing.
Yeah,
possible.
1-2.
We've seen the changeup. We know about the knuckle curve. What are we throwing here, Adam?
Well, he'll continue to try to get him to expand. Easier said than done with Juan Soto, of course, with his command of the strike zone. But I think he'll try to throw something below zone here.
1-2, exactly. Good call. Didn't miss by much with a sinker.
So you see what he did there. He went for the freeze there. He knows that he's not going to get Juan Soto to expand very easily, so he tries to punch him out looking, but misfires just by a little bit.
And he certainly went. So the count even up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just underway. Next one to Soto, and another one down, 3-2. This is what Soto does. Adam, you can certainly share your experiences knowing him as well as you do. He doesn't chase. He knows the strike zone as well as anybody. When he hits it hard.
Yeah, he's exceptionally frustrating to face.
Back up the middle. Turner ranges. It goes off his glove and into center field. Soto is aboard. And a very difficult play, but again, a little reminder of one of the things the Phillies do have to be concerned about, their defense.
Yeah, but this one 98.2 miles off the bat. Considered a hard hit, anything over 95 and 95 miles per hour. And this is the ability that Juan has. forget about trying to loft and launch the baseball. Just put it in play. Put it in play hard. Something good could come out of it. And right then and there, ball right past the end of the glove of Trey Turner.
Third baseman Bo Bichette. Soto leads off first. First pitch is in there for a strike right down the middle to Bichette, who comes in hitting .255 with 10 homers, 51 runs batted in. And there are a couple of guys on the Mets who have seen their averages uptick, and this is certainly one of them. Bichette maybe getting more comfortable with his new team. Curveball gets him ahead 0-2.
So we've seen the curveball right there against the right-handed hitter. The changeup to the left-handed hitters have been effective. He'll use it to both sides as well. But the two-seamer is the pitch that he hopes to throw once and get 2 outs from with a flat swing like Bichette's.
Pitch clock down to 1. Soto off first. Bichette a little bleeder into right. That's going to be foul. That had trouble written all over it once it came off his bat. Rincones wasn't going to get there. Soto was already halfway to third, but Bichette is coming back.
I'll tell you this, I thought that was going to land fair as soon as he hit it.
Yeah, that's the type of ball when you're on the mound, you're just wishing goes foul, because on one hand, he didn't hit it hard off you, but on the other hand, you know it's big trouble if that lands fair. And I have to say, the Phillies alignment here is a little confusing to me with Stott pulled up the middle. Bichette's so good at using the right side of the infield with Bryce holding the runner on here.
Good look at it there. That pitch outside and too far outside.
How many times did you look back and you're like, why are they where they are when you're pitching?
Oh, that definitely happened. In fact, when I played for the Red Sox, sometimes Alex Cora would look at me and kind of say, do you want me to move him or keep him? Because I didn't want him to take a pitch away from me. Like, in this situation, if you're going to throw a backdoor two-seam, you know, the odds are the contact would go right through that hole.
Yeah, he got jammed there. Harper will come up with it. He'll fire to Turner, who will throw back, and they will get the double play. The continued improvement of Bryce Harper at first base. He turns the double play. It goes 3-6-3. Harper to the plate along with Turner and Schwarber when we come back after defensive gem.
Said if you're gone.
Mets send 27-year-old Christian Scott off of Tommy John surgery and improving with each start. Back to the mound tonight. There are some of the numbers, and it's time for tonight's high performance. It's brought to you by Sage.
Christian Scott on the mound tonight. The cutter has been the secret weapon this year, with the hitters batting .111 off it, ranking 3rd in MLB. Christian was there when got called up when I was on the Mets a couple of years ago. This is a guy that I feel like a lot of people forgot about through his Tommy John rehab. But I love the intensity that he brings to the mound. And really the difference with that cutter this year is location. It's actually not all that different in terms of movement from his slider he was throwing last year, but he's really accurate with it up and into lefties.
Alexa Plus brings us the starting lineup, and Turner looks at that first one that lands in there for a strike. His sweeper has also improved dramatically. It's moving more, and there's been a ton of swing and miss.
Yeah, he actually slowed it down a little bit. It's about 1.5 miles an hour less.
Turner hits this one. Center field is where A.J. Ewing is, and he's there to make the play. So what did that accomplish for him?
Well, what I think it did, because of the uptick in cutter usage, which is about 89, 90, and now the sweeper's down at like 82, it created a little bit of separation between the two breaking balls. So just because you see a little spin out of his hand doesn't mean that your timing is going to be right. You still have to guess a little bit as a hitter whether you're getting the hard version or the slow version.
Here is Kyle Schwarber. The home run highlight reel anytime he steps into the box. 32 to lead the major leagues. In there for a strike, bottom of the zone to Schwarber, and that looked like another one of those. Did I swing? Should I challenge it? I'm not going to do anything. 0-1. Swings at the next one, and this one is towards the third base side where Bichette will give it a look. So Schwarber, that was a swing. But there was this quick no, I'm not gonna. Can I?
Well, I think right there he heard that
Yeah.
it was on the swing, so no reason to contest it.
Christian Scott got Turner to fly out to center. Schwarber hits one off the end of his bat, and A.J. Ewing 2 for 2 to start this game.
Yeah, just think about the adjustments also that the pitchers had to make, and all of a sudden a couple hours ago when the game got moved up to 6 o'clock from an original 7 o'clock start. I mean, that has to be huge, especially for a creature of habit like Aaron Nola, who had to move everything up, his routine up an hour.
That's a good point. Here's Harper with 2 down, and Scott working quickly. Fires that one right down the middle, 97 miles an hour.
Well, that's what you love about Christian Scott. He goes right at everybody, pitches with no sense of fear whatsoever, and he feels like he's better than the hitter that's in the box. And you got to really respect that mentality.
He misses away. The infield defense, Bichette basically playing where Lindor would regularly play. Francisco is shifted way up the middle, expecting and anticipating Harper to put the ball in play with pull. He is swinging and missing there at that cutter at 91.
And there it is, using it up in the strike zone. Guys see spin, they expect a little bit more drop than what's actually coming, and they end up cutting under that ball.
He's changed from a strictly 4-seam guy to a cutter 2-seam sinker to go with that swing. Working ahead, got him to chase. A splitter up top as well. Awfully impressive 1-2-3 inning. It took 10 pitches. We'll talk with Bryce Harper when we come back. It's the second half opener of the Major League season. Philadelphia Phillies back in the field. 33-year-old Bryce Harper back there, and he is kind enough to wear a microphone. It's been a very busy all-star break for you, so thanks very much for doing this. I know you've been front and center for a long time here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you had to throw out the 33-year-old, and I appreciate that.
A very, very good 33-year-old, man. How would you describe the last week for yourself here in the city of Philadelphia?
Oh, man, just trying to come down from it a little bit. You know, it was an absolute blast the last 2 days. Obviously, pretty hard working, you know, for me and Schwarbs and Sanchi and Marshy. So, you know, trying to come down from it a little bit.
First pitch swung on, blooped into right, and Rinconis is there and under it to make the play, retiring Lindor. Got a little echo on the microphone, but we can understand everything you are saying. You talk about the Philadelphia Phillies turnaround this season, Bryce, from where it started to where you are now, why you think it's happened?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I think obviously getting Zach Wheeler back helped a lot. Kind of putting our, you know, starting rotation back together, and whenever you get starting pitching, you know, kind of like the way we have the last you know, couple weeks, it's been really good. So obviously Donnie's done a great job with us, kind of just letting us go out and play, and lineup's been the same every day, so guys are getting consistent, you know, some reps and everything else. So it's been really good.
Bryce, a situation like today, you've had a long career, started in the Nationals, then here in Philly. Have you ever had a situation where the game has been moved up like this?
We had one earlier in the year, moved up a little bit, I think, due to rain. But yeah, it's definitely different. They don't really move games too much, so. But not the greatest idea, I guess, to come out here and play in this type of weather. But you know, we're doing it.
When you woke up, what did you think? You were still middle of the night?
I mean, I woke up this morning. I didn't really think much of it. I just thought we were going to play. So I didn't suspect we were going to play or anything else. So let's get ready for the game.
How's Bryce Harper changed this season as an offensive player? How do you maintain your excellence at 33?
Not missing the first pitch I did in that at bat. That's for sure. No, just trying to stay on the heater the best as possible. Just try to maintain that, have good at bats, and put the ball in play as much as possible. I think the main thing for me was just trying to hit the four seam good this year, and get the strikeout rates down, just try to put the ball in play as much as possible.
Yeah, and hitting it hard. All right, we got a fan question, Bryce, and one of the most popular players in baseball. The question comes from Charlie. He said, do you have a message for LeBron James to come to the Sixers?
I don't know. I think he's going to the Cavs. I think he's going back home to end his career there. But you never know. I think obviously they got a couple guys over there that are pretty fun to play with. Got Jaylen Brown. So I don't know. You want to come to a crazy city and have some fun. I mean, this is it.
That's right. This is it. Speaking of fun, we're going to have this conversation tonight. You're the perfect person for it. Eduardo Perez brought it up. Like the art of the boo. We saw it during the Home Run Derby. We saw it during the All-Star game. This city seems to have mastered it. Is there a particular time where you think it's appropriate to boo a player?
I mean, I think obviously when you're not playing well, I think they can say whatever they want to you. And then any opposing player, I mean, obviously they're not big fans of anybody else besides us. So when you got a fan base that has your back every day, and they come here to spend their hard-earned dollar to watch you play, they expect the best out of you, and we do too. So.
Well, I thought they were terrific during both the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby, showing their support for their hometown folks.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think obviously they came out, showed out. I'm just hoping that everybody kind of saw the community and saw how great of a city Philly is, and I hope they saw all that as well.
We got 2 down. This is Jared Young at the plate. Nola has been very good so far. Runner goes. That one is in there for a strike. There wasn't an attempt to get him, and that's a stolen base for Bench, who's been a threat. That's his 16th of the year.
That's a veteran move by JT Realmuto. He sees the big jump right there. No need at all to throw it to second base. Just focus on the hitter.
He got a great jump. You heard Bryce yelling about it. Now Young again. Swing. This one is down the line in right field towards that corner. And it is just foul. Hey, Bryce, one of the stories at the All-Star game was the lack of participation by some of the superstars. You've been around this game. You are a superstar. What was your opinion about that?
In what sense? I'm sorry.
Just the idea that folks that show up to the game, that vote some of these guys in, clearly there are circumstances which would prevent them from playing, but it felt like there were some choices made that didn't bring the guys here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all personal, right? I mean, if you have stuff going on, I mean, obviously Shohei had his knee, and his biggest thing is making sure that the Dodgers win the second half and they get into the postseason. So, I mean, I think guys want to be here, obviously, and the guys show up when they can, and if they can't, then I think that's a personal career decision more than anything.
Bryce Harper in the field at first base, and Jared Young behind 1 and 2. Nola got him swinging. Bryce, Nola looks good. You guys look good. What a turnaround. Eddie's got a question as you walk off. You got a question?
Oh, I just want to know one thing. Can you get Natalie to grow back that mustache?
I talked to him about it multiple times, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Mama likes the clean cut a little bit more.
Mama knows best. Bryce, thanks, man. Superstar. We appreciate it.
Meet Grace.
Bottom of the second underway, and Christian Scott back on to face one of the better stories for the Phillies this entire season. That's been Brandon Marsh. Good sweeper on the corner to get ahead 0-1. Marsh is chasing the ball more, but he's also being a lot more aggressive at the plate. He was an All-Star this year for the first time. Rolls one over slowly down the line at first base, picked up, and the glove of Young hit the bag before Marsh's foot. Good improv by Jared Young at first base.
Yeah, you have to worry about the pitcher coming in. You have to worry about the slow roller, and give a lot of credit to Marsh hustling down the line. Plus, you slip. Got to improvise a little bit right there with the mitt.
All of a sudden, the dirt monster comes and grabs your leg at the last second. You're not ready for that.
Familiar with the dirt monster?
I've been gotten by the grass monster, the dirt monster, you name it, it's gotten me before.
Alec Boehm bats now. Adam Ottavino, Eduardo Perez here in the booth. Carl Ravitch and Buster Olney. That first pitch. And then he is getting ahead. He is throwing a lot of strikes. 0-1 with a fastball at 95. Oh! 0-2. He's 5 of 5 on first pitch strikes, and now Boehm is behind 0-2.
Yeah, and he just landed 2 fastballs on the outer third, so if he starts a slider right out of that window and runs it away, you might get the chase.
On the ground and backing up, Bichette. He will two-hop it over, and he is able to get Boehm.
That's the shortstop in him, playing deep third base. Shortstops you see a lot of times when they go to their backhand, they try to one-hop it. Let's not forget, he played over there at the Rogers Center. This one, the grass grabs it a little bit, but he's fortunate it's Boehm running down the line at first.
Well, if you think about it, it's a good strategy, because if you try to throw it in the air, you might airmail the guy completely. If you throw it in the ground, no matter how many hops it is, it gives the guy a chance to catch it.
All right, 15 pitches, 14 strikes, and his first one that misses was very close to start off a hitter. And Bryson Stott. Philadelphia's second baseman, 249 on the year with 7 home runs. They play him straight up. Bichette, even with the bag, he comes inside and misses with 96.
Hey, he throws 2 balls and he wants a new ball. Get that ball out of here. That ball didn't have strikes in it. Get a new one.
How often would you as a pitcher study some of the tendencies of hitters? For instance, like Boehm and Stott, whether they've increased their launch angle, whether they've become a flatter swing. Does that impact the way you would approach them?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely pay attention, you know, kind of what they're doing this year relative to last year, like what's working, what's not working, where the adjustments need to be made. But at the same time, you know, early in the ball game, you're going to pitch off your strengths pretty much regardless.
The cat and mouse starts later?
I think for a starting pitcher, it can start later, yeah.
Okay.
I think ultimately you come out and you just try to establish who you are that night, pitch to your strengths, and force the batters to adjust to you.
Well, a good look there, and you saw Christian Scott shake off the first 2 pitches, then Stott rifles one foul down the line and right.
When you talk about having a steeper angle attack to the ball, Stott this year, the metrics had him around 12.5 degrees, and he's actually flattened it out 3 degrees less. It's around 9 degrees right now, putting the ball more in play, sacrificing a little bit of the loft.
Yeah, and the hard hit rate has gone up 8%. Swing, and that one is into the mitt. Really good job by Christian Scott, who fell behind for the first time. 3-1, but 6 up, 6 down. And the Dirt Monster was not going to stop Jared Young. They've been terrific defensively. Then Bo Bichette added to it as he stepped back and threw a bounce pass over to first to get the out. That's kind of like as bright as the sun has been all day here in Philadelphia. The smoke from the Canadian wildfires moved us up by 1 hour to start the second half opener. Brett Beatty for the Mets. First pitch from Nola is that curveball in there for a strike. Remember, the Mets were swept by the Red Sox before the break. A disastrous error by Lindor in the final game on Sunday led to a particularly brutal blown lead. And it sent Boston into the break, having won 9 consecutive games, all of them on the road, to get themselves right back into the race in the American League wild card, which may take guys like Sonny Gray off the trade table. Beatty 221 on the year, and he swings and pops it sky high. Shallow right. Stott looks out at Ranconis, and it's the center fielder Crawford who steps in to make the play. So the season started on opening day, literally before the games got underway. The Mets had an 80% chance to make the postseason. By the 3rd week in April, they were even. Today, it's not close. And it's the Phillies who sit there at 86%, which certainly would color the way these teams now approach the trade deadline. I heard Buster at the top talk about the needs that the Phillies have and the market that the Mets provide for teams asking. Francisco Alvarez steps out after that ball was called a strike. The consensus is the Dodgers are still the power, but beyond them, it's the Brewers, the Phillies, the Atlanta Braves.
And Carl, I think the big question before the trade deadline is how many teams will actually be selling. Certainly in the American League, there's so many teams that you're going to believe that they have a chance to stay in contention. So some executives think those decisions may not happen until the last few days before the deadline.
Nola ahead 0-2. Nope. Alvarez with a check of first, did not swing. Both these starting pitchers throwing a ton of strikes. And Adam, when you came back after the break, did you ever consider maybe the offenses were a little rusty, and given the circumstances today?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things you just certainly want to find out. So that's why you attack the strike zone the way these guys are. You want to see if these guys are still sleeping.
1-2 hit pretty well to center field. That sends Crawford back. Still going back. Looks at the wall. It's gone. Into the trees for the 9-hole hitter Francisco Alvarez. His 10th, and the Mets grab a 1-0 lead.
You look at a kid that has improved his mechanics year after year, and this year it has shown and continued to do it today during batting practice, trying to stay up the middle and accomplishing that on this hanging breaking pitch. Stays up, stays behind it, and barrels it straight away center field.
For as long as I've been watching Alvy hit, I've been imploring him to use the big part of the field. He's strong enough to take the ball out of any ballpark to any location. When he tries to pull off outside pitches, that's where he gets himself in trouble. On that pitch, he stayed his head down on the ball, carried right out to center field.
Change up there to get ahead of Ewing. That homer came on a 1-2 pitch, the hanger from Nola. And Crawford's first look made you think that he thought he might have had a play on it. The wind here at Citizens Bank blowing hard from left field to right, but nothing was impacting that shot.
It's interesting because the great and late Red Shandies from the St. Louis Cardinals would always ask me, what do you do on 2 strikes? I had 4 home runs with 2 strikes, and I said, well, I try to choke up, keep it simple, shorten up the swing. That's a 2-strike approach right there that Alvarez has, and to your point, just keeping it straight up the middle. He's got the power. What was it, Buck Showalter used to say he's got muscles in his toes?
That's what Buck used to say about Alvarez. Yeah, stronger guy as there is, and that's why you implored him, dude, you can hit it out of anywhere.
Yeah, and when you let the ball get deep, you make better swing decisions. You have a little bit more time to react. And that's part of the equation as well.
Third strikeout, A.J. Ewing goes down for the 2nd time tonight. A curveball got him. And there are 2 down here in the 3rd for Juan Soto.
The art of the boo.
Comes with a lot of respect. Soto singled his first time up. Average creeps closer to 300. Oh. Just literally spits on all the balls that are not in the strike zone.
It's amazing to me if you just watch that right foot of his, that where he turns and pigeon toes it completely. I mean, it's year after year, it just gets more and more.
Pull up. He's quickly ahead, 3-0.
He's got the green light here, fellas.
Through the age of 27, Mantle, Eddie Yost, Trout, Ott, Jimmy Fox, Harper's on the list, but Juan Soto, it's not really close either. 951 to 892. He didn't swing there on a 3-0, and it's 3-1.
I mean, I know you can improve your selectivity at the plate, but when it's at that level, are you just born with that?
Yes. It's interesting because when he was coming up to the Nationals and in A-ball, he asked, what's my quickest path to the big leagues? And they said, be selective at the plate. If you recognize the strength, the strike zone, you'll be called up a lot quicker. And
did he say?
He did it.
I got that. I checked that box. I'm good. If that's what it's going to take, I'm good there.
He got to the big leagues at 19 years of age. I mean, that just tells you the high level of development even before he signed professionally.
I think when you look at this list, the guy in the middle probably gets lost on it because Arise is always talked about this way. We certainly talk about Soto glowingly, but Stephen Kwan also more walks than strikeouts, which seems almost impossible. I mean, how much of an outlier is Soto to face?
Oh, it's incredible because you see the other two names on that list. They don't come with a lot of power behind them as well. Soto does all of the things that those guys do, but he also can take you out of the ballpark. So you're playing with fire, but you have no choice but to come in the strike zone. And, you know, it's one of the few times where the batter really dictates everything.
Good two-seamer there. Worked back over the plate to go 1-1 against Bo Bichette, who grounded into a 3-6-3 double play. He's been banged up. And hopefully the break has given him time to recover, and everyone else that didn't participate in the Derby or the All-Star game. A spinner that he was all over, and it's fouled off.
And that right there is lack of timing as well. Missed the 3 games before the All-Star break. Did have a pinch hit appearance on that Sunday, but then now gets put into this one. So 6 consecutive days off for Bo Bichette.
Pretty vocal crowd. I'd say a little more than half full as Bichette chases one down and away. Nola picks up his 4th strikeout. But Francisco Alvarez, strong like bull, blasts one over the center field wall to give the Mets a 1-0 lead.
Works.
Baseball continues on ESPN. Monday doubleheader. Dodgers and Phillies. That guy will be on the mound. Christopher Sanchez, announced by the Phillies, as the starter for that one. And then a little later, our home run derby champion. He and his Cardinals take on Mike Trout and the Angels at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Both games live on ESPN and streaming on the app. Up the middle it goes off the bat of JT Realmuto. And the Philadelphia Phillies have their first hit on a single by Realmuto.
And that was the first attempt of the Phillies to swing at the first pitch. And it's Scott, the one that's been dominating 5 of the first 6 hitters he saw. They were strikes. He attacked. JT did, and it right back where it came from.
Yeah, that's the value of a veteran just watching the game. He sees how the pitcher's attacking. He's going to go ahead and try to take that away.
Gabriel Rincones looks at a ball. Rincones has been hot. Ball was called a strike. His OPS over his last 14 games is almost 200 points higher than it's been over the course of the season. It's 721. The right fielder Realmuto leads off first. He swings, and that's out of play. Oh, 2 and another blooper foul. You know, Buster, we have an Angels game coming up, and of course Trout was here. Mike Trout's from this area. In a dream scenario for many Philly fans, Trout would come here and play. Is there any chance, in your opinion, the Angels part with Mike Trout?
Carl, the answer to that is no.
Thank you.
John Mozeliak, who's their head of baseball operations, is filling in now for the Angels. Was asked that question recently. He said a flat no. And let's face it, with uncertainty about what the economic system is going to be after this year, I don't think any team would be willing to take on that money. I don't think the Angels would be willing to eat the money, knowing that Trout is an inner circle Hall of Famer. It's just way too complicated.
Appreciate it. Rincones, by the way, called out. Gabriel on a foul tip into the mitt. So Crawford bats. The speedy son of the great Carl Crawford looks at one high. Ball 1. Eerily similar in his looks to his dad. He walks by and you want to say, hey, Carl. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
You do. Played with his father, one of the best work ethics as a teammate that I had the pleasure of playing with.
Swings at that one. This one has popped up. He may have gotten Alvarez, and it is caught. That one, the bat struck Alvarez. Scott comes in to make the play to catch it in foul territory, but we got to be concerned about Francisco Alvarez. You heard it on that swing.
Yeah, he got a barrel full of face mask right here.
Yeah.
Alves shook up.
Oh, golly.
And I'm telling you, there are some players at the lower level, especially, this is a risk that you see also at the grassroots. An issue where a lot of the top hand comes off the bat, and you see a lot of young players and catchers get hit. Create some serious concussions.
I also think the catchers are a little bit closer nowadays, trying to catch everything at the bottom of the zone and present it so well. So there's not a lot of separation there. I mean, you do see this, unfortunately, a little bit too often.
No, I mean, that was somebody punching you as hard as they can in the jaw. Oh, golly.
And how about the heads up of Scott going after that pop-up?
I love it. As a pitcher, you know, you die to catch a pop-up. I mean, you want to prove to these guys that we are athletes. So Christian was on it, though. Catches that right at home plate. That's one of the more unique plays you'll ever see a pitcher make. And really got to give him credit for the pitch as well. Perfect location on that cutter up and in that, you know, led to that pop-up.
Scott sees it. He sees his guy down on the ground. He looks over at third and sees Bichette's not there, so he takes it himself.
Okay, I'd never seen that one before.
Me neither.
Kevin O'Sullivan trains his pitchers at Florida to be athletes, and that, of course, is where Christian Scott came out of.
Oh, don't give Sully credit for that.
Sully deserves the credit.
Oh, no, don't do that.
Pitchers are the best athletes on the field. I keep hearing. You all played shortstop and center field. Turner goes the other way. This is going to get to the seats. Never understood that in 33 years of doing this and covering baseball for that long, that pitchers somehow shouldn't catch baseballs when that's all you all did prior to becoming like exclusively pitchers, as well as anybody.
Yeah, I mean, we're as capable as anyone on plays like that. Now, when they're really high, usually we want no part of it. We'll go let the professionals take over, but
professionals,
you know, that's for the athlete part of the conversation. Don't take my word for it. I used to love hearing Rick Ankiel talk about it after he converted. He loved to come defend the honor of the pitchers as athletes.
And he could. He had a lot of ground to stand on.
Yes, he could.
Wow, big sweeper there. Trey Turner is gone. 4 strikeouts in the game for Christian Scott. Keep an eye on Alvarez after taking a bat off of his cheek. He looks okay. He's got the homer. It's 1-0.
The investors pulled up.
Back here in Philadelphia with Mets manager Andy Green. Christian Scott, how has he looked since he come back?
Good. The stuff's alive today. The fastball's beating hitters right now, and good to see some chase on the sweeper right there. Threw a really nice split to Bryce as well, so he's got everything working right now.
Unusual conditions tonight with the concern about the air quality index. What were your players told about how to handle this?
Yeah, that MLB was going to keep us safe here today, and that we were going to pay attention to how everybody felt, and so we're all good right now. We're playing a baseball game. We're out here to win it.
Andy, thanks. Call back to you.
Buster, thank you very much. Andy Green takes over. He told us before the game there have been times here in the last year or two where he has been considering interviewing for full-time managerial jobs, but said obligations at home, they want to be around the family, superseded the desire to get back. And when this opportunity presented itself, it felt like it did check a lot of boxes. It wasn't necessarily a full-time thing. Maybe it becomes it, but it was an interim manager job.
Well, everyone knows that this is a major sacrifice within the baseball industry when you're as a player, as a coach, and as a manager. You dedicate so much time to the sport, and sometimes you want to be able to see your family grow.
Lindor on the ground, and it's fielded easily by Stott. Quickly as he is retired, what are you seeing in Francisco Lindor this season? The numbers are down across the board.
Let's not forget one thing. He had the hamate surgery early on, and that affects. He came back pretty darn quick, but at the beginning he tried a different handle to the bat. Then he's like, forget it. I'm going to use what I've always used. And sometimes when you don't go through that extent of spring training, it's a harder start for you. But Francisco Lindor still is one of those elite players that can still find barrel offensively.
Bench on the ground, smothered over there. Stott up with it, and a nice play. Takes one away from Carson Bench. Speaks to the trust that Don Mattingly has in Bryson Stott, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Gold Glove caliber second baseman. Really good positioning right there. I love the technique. Kind of slides on the right leg, gets the glove into position, knocks it down, throws it out.
So there are two quick outs here in the fourth. Jorge Polanco. Looks at strike one from Nola. The city skyline continues to disappear in the distance as the smoke continues to get a little bit worse here in the city. You certainly could see the outline and how it has disappeared from when we started about an hour ago. Chopper over the head of Nola, and Turner scoops and flips. And 3 ground ball outs from Nola. It took 7 pitches to get through it. The city of Philadelphia slowly disappearing tonight.
Back here in Philadelphia, the Phillies manager Don Mattingly. We just got done All-Star events here. What did you think?
Oh, it was great. It was exciting to be here for it. A lot of our guys here. It was fun. We didn't swing the bat great on the National League side, but it was a good event.
Right, we got the air quality index issue tonight. How does that factor in for you in determining about how long Nola can go in this game?
We'll just talk to him. He's a guy, he's really well conditioned, so we feel like he'll be able to go, but we'll just check with him, see how he's doing, and go from there.
Don, thanks. Call back to you.
And Kyle Schwarber steps in. First pitch sent him back. It was way inside, similar to that one that he swung at in a cutter. Look where it landed in the glove of Alvarez. It's 1-1, and Schwarber, who is relatable a player as there is in the game to everybody, had pretty good conversation with Alvarez, another one inside, about how he was feeling after getting hit in the head with that bat. See him here talking with him. Schwarber understands the tools of ignorance. 2-1. They keep trying to jam him. They come back inside again.
Got a sweeper and 3 consecutive cutters in.
Dangerous pitch against the most prolific home run hitter this year. Swings at it again. Boy, he keeps working in on the hands of Schwarber. Can you do it again?
I mean, he's looked pretty bad on 2 breaking balls. I bet he sticks with it. Let's see.
No, instead he went with a cutter down. Schwarber gone. That was a masterpiece by Christian Scott.
That's a little bit of what we were talking about before. The cutter spins like a slider. It's actually not all that different from a slider in Christian's case. So you get breaking ball spin on both the sweeper and the slider throughout that at bat. Schwarber gets enough of them where he's not actually sure out of the hand which pitch he's swinging at, and therefore he chases below zone.
Heck of a weapon then. Here's Harper. He struck out his first time. Scott's got 5 piled up tonight.
Hold up.
That's a smart play by Alvarez. It certainly looked like
catcher challenge.
It caught the strike zone, so we have a challenge. And the ABS system is powered by T-Mobile.
Well, I think Alvy's going to be right here, which is our first indication that
he's thinking clearly.
He's thinking clearly.
Good for him. And a big call, going from 1-0 to 0-1 right here with Bryce Harper, still establishing in as Scott.
Well, there's the changeup. He lost that, a splitter. I hypothesize that could be a tough pitch to maybe command today with the hot conditions, sweaty. You know, it's a slip pitch. It could come out of your hand a hair earlier than you want to.
That's up.
That one's high. So as a hitter, Eddie, given what he just said, do you maybe eliminate that from what you think he might throw?
If you're Bryce Harper, probably not, because he struck out on a splitter and it stayed up. And it still, at least you show it to him, and you're not thinking like that if you're a hitter.
2-1, hard on the ground, off the bag, and bounces over Jared Young's head. Harper will get to second, and he will have a double. Tough break for Jared Young. Took a tough hop right around the bag.
And a different approach to Harper than we saw against Schwarber. It was a lot more cutters and sweepers. Here it was splitters and a curveball. He loses out on that curveball. Bryce able to keep it fair. Gets a fortunate hop right over the glove, an attempt of Young. Couldn't really gauge the velocity of the ball coming at him.
So 18th double of the year for Harper, and a chance for Marsh.
A little bit of a generous bottom of the strike zone early going here with Mr. Iasonia behind there calling it.
I understand pitching inside. These balls have really come inside. Is this a sign of the grip? Why is he coming so far inside?
Yeah, he just lost his timing a little bit throughout the start of this inning. He was pretty locked in early, obviously throwing strikes, but he's pulled a few balls.
1-1. 1-0. The Mets on an Alvarez homer. It's working for him. There's another example. He got Schwarber that way. He gets Marsh to swing and miss on 1-up.
1-2. It's the discipline, and so far he's been able to get these guys to swing out of the zone. You know, Schwarber on a breaking ball below the zone on 3-2, and then Marsh here on the 1-1 up and in. When you're getting guys to swing out of the zone, it's always a positive for a pitcher.
1-2. Marsh hit it well, but it's out of play. The other thing that's happened, maybe as the temperature's gotten better, you can explain it better than most. His slider spins increased from about 2,500 RPM to 2,660. How's that happen?
Usually a little bit more pressure on the seam. You have something a little more tangible to pull on. You know, when you're on the leather, you're not always going to be able to hold on to that ball as long as you want and create that friction. But if you get a little bit more on the seam with your grip, you can increase your spin rate. That's something that I did over the course of my career. I switched my grip up from being a little bit more on the leather to more on the seam on the cutter.
2-2 to Marsh. And that one into the bat left field. Soto drifting back. He's there, and Harper will go back to second. So how often would you switch your grips and things? Like, was it start to start, just during the course of the season? How often did you do something like that?
I mean, for the most part, you don't. If it ain't broke, you don't fix it. You know what I mean? But for me, you know, coming out of the sticky crackdown, that was a time where I really had to make the adjustment. You know, I had a couple pitches where I was a little bit more on the leather because I could, quote unquote, glue myself to it a little bit more. And then once that got taken away, that privilege, you know, now you need a little bit of a seam to go ahead and grip onto and create your leverage.
The sticky crackdown, and you described it as a privilege, having the ability to have the stick? A privilege.
Well, we didn't know. I mean, to be fair, I didn't know what the consequences of using the sticky stuff, particularly the sunscreen and rosin, was.
Right.
You know, until later, and we found out we started measuring spin rate. But yeah, I mean, makes the slider better.
Yep. Bohm pops this thing sky high. Jared Young and Alvarez, and it's the first baseman. And to your point, Scott didn't really think about that. He just pointed up and said, let the athlete out there take it. Welcome back to ESPN's baseball coverage. It is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Buster Olney down in the field. In the booth, Eduardo Perez, Adam Ottavino, I'm Carl Ravitch. Play Ball, baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, scan the QR code you see right there on your screen, or go to playball.org and follow at Playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Nola, fifth inning, first pitch is in there at the bottom of the zone for a strike. 3 of the last 4 starts for Nola have gone at least 5 innings with 3 or fewer runs allowed. He's done great getting ahead. In his 12th season, the knuckle curveball remains his bread and butter.
And it's a pitch that he's able to land for strikes, and I think that's the key, because as a hitter, you're thinking, okay, he's spinning it, he can land it for strikes. Now he can then get you to chase with that pitch later in counts.
Oh.
Young takes one outside.
He's been heavy curveball and changeup usage so far in this game, and I think that's the right approach given how his fastball's performed this year. But it's going to be interesting as he gets deeper in there. Does he go more fastball, or does he stick with this approach?
And he will challenge it. This is going to be close.
Better challenge.
Pitch was right on the outside, and did it get a piece of the plate?
Oh, man.
It did barely.
It's interesting because a lot of people say that Aaron Nola is one of the pitchers that's been affected the most from the challenge system.
Who would say that?
A lot of Philly fans, Carl.
2-2, that's inside. And why, Eduardo, would they say that?
And I think it's because of the movement. He gets a lot of late action. We saw it right there with the curveball, with the two-seamer as well. And he faces a lot of left-handed hitters.
Yeah, he missed there, 3-2. He pulled one inside with a curveball, and that is a leadoff walk to Young here in the 5th.
Let's take a look at how Aaron Nola does it despite not having the Mizorowski type of stuff at the moment. Pitch 1 starts at the same height as pitch 2, and that's the magic here. He lays the trap with pitch 1. The second pitch comes out at that same trajectory and then deviates. Batter goes and swings through it.
Mizorowski, huh?
All right, does anyone have the Mizorowski stuff? The optimist. So Beatty now looks at one outside from Nola.
Adam, what would you do with 104 in your back pocket?
Not give up any runs. I'll tell you that.
Move it into every pocket.
Yeah.
We got a chance to talk with him on a Baseball Tonight program during the All-Star break. Mizorowski, what a engaging young kid, as that one is fouled off at the plate. May have got our umpire Iasonia.
Sorry, I just can't get him off of my mind. I mean, that fastball, it's so indicative of the baseball that we watch now with all the power stuff in the game. So, you know, he's the poster child for that right now.
He may be for a while, too. 1 ball, 1 strike to Beatty. Young leads off. He hasn't stolen a base yet, and he will take that one away. Tom Mattingly was telling us about the ABS when we asked him. His catcher's as good as anybody at getting it right in Rio Muto, but he said, boy, what an advantage that it is for the hitters, because now they know the strike zone is the same every single game, which I hadn't really thought about. It's just not umpire dependent. You know that the pitch at the top of the zone is going to consistently be called that because it has to be.
Yeah, and if not, you have a weapon to push back against it. You know, it's in your power. It's well within your reach to go ahead and challenge those pitches. But I think the big advantage is those left-handed batters not having to worry about.
Line shot up the middle, and it's going to get down, and there are going to be 2 aboard as Nola left a changeup right over the heart.
I think this is where Don Mattingly has to now start getting his bullpen up. The last time Nola came pitch and was doing really well, he got a quick hook on him because he knows that the 3rd time around is a time that Nola struggles with hitters. He's already shown him all his arsenal. It's really interesting to see when that phone call will happen to the bullpen.
That was against Detroit. He had given up just 3 hits and 2 runs. He had struck out 8. Mattingly took him out, as you said, right before the 3rd time through the order. It backfired on him. The team lost the game 10-2, and he was ruminating about the decision post-game, and even today still was like, I could have left him in. But Alvarez already has one bomb to straightaway center.
Here we go. Look for Alvy to stay with that approach to right field right here. He's grounded into a ton of double plays this year. I know that's on his mind. He wants to stay away from that. Line drive to right would be the antidote.
Inside, 2-0. Take a look at the home run through the StatCast view. Center field. You see how shallow Crawford was playing. 100 miles an hour off the bat, 416. Look at how far out in front of the plate he got that slider. And now Nola in trouble. 2-0.
Hold down.
Close. Real Muto doesn't challenge.
I think Nola wanted him to challenge too.
I think we always want the catcher to challenge when we're on the mound. But that was a wise choice, I think.
It may have caught a piece, and I said Realmuto is as good as anybody. 3-0. Given the home run, the 3-0 count, surprised he took there?
Two-seamer. See the action. You're hoping for something a little bit straight. I think Aaron was hoping that he swung, because if he hits it hard, it's on the ground. Good opportunity for 2.
Looks like Alvarado's beginning to stretch on a 3-1.
Down.
And the bases are loaded. His 3rd walk of the night, 2nd in the inning. And you figured that Caleb Coughlin was going to come on out and talk to Aaron Nola, which he is doing now.
There are some people for whom good enough is never good enough. They ruffle feathers, push boundaries. They are high performers, and high performers choose Sage, high-performance finance software.
Well, this conversation's got to be all about damage control right here. Where are you going to find that first out? You know, and then you go from there. You don't try to do it all in one bite here. You can't get 3 outs with 1 pitch necessarily. So figure out where you're going to get your out here, and then you try to keep it to 1 or 0 if you can, of course, but 1 is fine.
And Ewing has swung 5 times already off Nola. He's made contact on 1, a foul ball, and he swung and missed through 4 pitches, changeups and curveballs.
3rd time through here for Ewing, who he's gotten twice. And Nola set. So is Ewing. Here it comes. He holds up. It's 1-0. Crowd here anxious. Ewing 261 with runners in scoring position this season.
Short, very compact swing for A.J. Ewing.
2 for 4 with the bases loaded. Liner, Harper, double play, disaster for the Mets, and a massive break for Aaron Nola.
Yeah, that's tough when you're at first base, but you have to know that anything on a line, you immediately go right back to the bag if you are at first base or on the bases. Line drive right here. As soon as you see it, you have to break back. There's no reason why Alvarez is breaking right instead of left. Really good call here by Don Mattingly, just putting the 4 fingers up and allowing Juan Soto to reach first.
Intentional walk to Soto, so it will be the 3rd time tonight that he has reached. Young got nailed there at first. I should say Alvarez got nailed at first base. It's Young at 3rd, Beatty at 2nd, and now Soto at 1st. And an opportunity for Bichette.
All right, so let's see how they attack Bo this time. They've pounded him in early in counts to then try to expand away late. Let's see if it's more of the same.
And this is one of the reasons they got Bo Bichette as well. I know it was a knee-jerk reaction in the free agency, but at the same time, with runners in scoring position, he was really good with Toronto.
260 this year, 38 RBIs. That may have been his best sinker he has thrown tonight. Then he goes with a knuckle curve, and is he going to get out of it? Ahead 0-2.
Yeah, let's see what Aaron goes to here. All 4 hits have been with 2 strikes, so he struggled to put hitters away, and this is the biggest moment where he's going to need to find a way to dial up strike 3 right here. The difficulty is Bo Bichette likes to, you know, lengthen out the stride with 2 strikes and becomes a little bit of a different hitter. So this is a tricky finish to get.
He hit into a 3-6-3 double play and has struck out. Bases loaded in the 5th. Nola trying to wiggle his way out. Take there by Bichette, who, as Eduardo said, fell to the Mets. The Phillies were very interested in Bo Bichette as well. He was hurt for so much of the second half of the season last year with Toronto. able to get back in time for the playoffs, but limited in his abilities. Swings, and that's going to get to the seats on the first base side.
Just sped him up right there. Getting in on his hands, protecting anything away.
His father, Dante Bichette, and you can see the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Hit over 300 over his 14-year career with runners in scoring position. On a 1-2, reaches out, shallow right field. It's an easy one, though, for Gabriel Rincones. Aaron Nola, a walk, a single, and a walk to load him up. Got the double play he needed, and Bichette to fly out. He's through 5.
For a limited time.
ESPN Baseball is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. It's brought to you by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. Christian Scott's helped himself. He's been terrific on the mound. And we start with a Scott-Stott matchup here in the bottom of the 5th. Just 2 hits allowed, 5 strikeouts. Gave up a double to Harper last inning and a single to Realmuto, and that's been the damage. 1-1.
I'll tell you what's been devastating. It's been that cutter to the hitters. They start now being so conscious, especially the left-handed hitters, on anything inside. It opens up everything away.
He also has that in his back pocket, 96.
And 96, but the perceived velocity because of his extension being at 7 feet, you're looking at that 96 looking more like 98 to 99.
Yep. No doubt. That cutter has a hard hit rate of only 20%, which is very low. And now working 1-2, already with 5 strikeouts. Not there. The impact that Don Mattingly has had on certain players here is to instill a great deal of faith when your manager shows that. And Stott certainly has benefited from it as he pulls one foul. Marsh is another guy. And on the other side, Andy Green's basically been a cheerleader for Benj and Ewing. And as a player, when you have the support of your manager plus your players, that's a pretty good combination.
It's huge, especially as a young guy. And, you know, these guys, Benj and Ewing, they're getting such a great opportunity that a lot of players don't get. I mean, if you really think about it, there's only 30 of these jobs at each position of guys who can play every day. So to be able to be given the car keys and say, go get him, kid, is extremely rare. And then on top of that, to have a manager that has your back day in, day out and allows you to play with freedom, there's nothing more you could want as a young player.
And the experience that Andy Green has had, because he saw the farm system, he saw these guys get developed, I think plays big into those 2 young players, into Ewing and Benj.
He got him there. 96 up top, 6 strikeouts for Christian Scott. So Buster, I saw you doing some due diligence during the inning break. What'd you learn?
Yeah, talking to Dan Iassoni, the home plate umpire, the crew chief. He's aware of the numbers. He's getting updates on the air quality index from the grounds crew here, but he's also checking with players. I've seen him go to both starting pitchers between innings and ask them, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? And what he said to me a couple of minutes ago was they seem to be doing okay. He said that, look, the red line we know on air quality index is 200, but he said if it was 199 and players are coughing all over the place, he said, I'm going to react to that. But right now, he feels like it's good, and the numbers have wavered.
Realmuto back up the middle. Chance here for Beatty, who picks, fires low, scooped out. Nice play by Young. Go ahead, Buster.
Yeah, Carl, we started the game at 156 with the weather station about a half mile from here. The number went up into the 160s, 170s for a time now, and perhaps it coincides with the wind that we've seen come through the ballpark. They're down more in the 130s. But again, what Dan is telling us is that his conversations with the players are certainly playing a role. He wants to see their comfort level.
I appreciate that, Buster. Thank you. And here is Rincones, and continues to work ahead. The sweeper has been very good. This is a transformation too. This was a guy coming out of school who's going to be a reliever. You know, and he's developed in the last 2 years to this now.
Yeah, no, it's been incredible to watch him work coming out of University of Florida and then becoming a starter through the minor league system. But he's got the mentality for it. He's not the type of guy that shies away from a challenge. I feel like every 5th day he knows it's his day and he loves to go at it.
The Mets lead at 1-0. The Mets schedule coming out of the second half is not very kind. And this ball is popped up and out of play. So it's Philadelphia and then a bunch of first place teams. At Milwaukee, the Dodgers, Atlanta. 25 straight games for the New York Mets to begin the second half against winning teams.
Well, they're going to have their guys healthy, at least position player wise. Something that they really have not had much of during the regular season.
Oh, that's in.
That's inside. The other part of it for the Mets.
The catcher challenge.
And Alvarez.
It's aggressive right there.
Yeah, that looked way in, but we'll see.
Zero challenges remaining.
There's no gray area for the Mets as far as are we in the race. You know, when they begin, what, 16 games behind in the East and a whole bunch of teams they'd have to leapfrog in a wild card. They know their identity. They know what the game plan is. It's not as if they make a statement that they're likely to get back in, and it's really difficult to make that statement against those teams.
But not impossible. We were counting out the Boston Red Sox 2 weeks ago.
I'm good. Yep.
And now all of a sudden with 9 consecutive W's, Boston Red Sox just right there in the middle of it.
But it hit me in the face, so I can't really disagree.
That's a great audio.
I assume just saying to Rincones, it hit me in the face, so I don't really know. But he's ready to go again. 3-2 back up here. Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, invested heavily and has since he took over the team. 3-2 called, strike 3. Rincones quickly goes to his helmet to challenge it.
Oh, he's going to be disappointed.
I think that's there.
Everybody on the field looks up to the big giant scoreboard in left. Here it comes. It lights up red. That means it's a good call. Iasonia got it in the face with a foul ball. He is clear-headed enough to call it right. 1-0. We're through 5 on ESPN.
.com.
As the Fanatic fires T-shirts, we remind everybody the goal of an MLB fan is to see everything. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Yes, all 30. MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps. Two veterans now face off against each other. Yes, Aaron Nola, in spite of the bases loaded no-out situation in the 5th, comes back out for the 6th to deal with Lindor. Once on the first one and bangs in a curveball to Lindor, who it's just, even though, as you mentioned, the hamate injury and the severe calf injury, 5 homers, 12 RBIs, a .216 batting average at the All-Star break. Pulls one foul.
Heads up, Buster.
I mean, for me, Francisco just hasn't been able to get in a rhythm yet. He's such a player that likes to play every single day, and eventually he hits his stride and he just takes off. He's been a notoriously slow starter anyway, even when healthy. So this year, the hamate bone disruption plus the other injury disruption, he just hasn't been able to be himself yet.
On the ground should be an easy one for Stott, who stays down on it. Lindor 0 for 3 tonight with a fly out to right and 2 ground ball outs to Stott. It's encouraging. I mean, the pitch count is very low for Nola with just 79. It's the other guy, Scott, who's more on a pitch count than Nola would be with a third time through the order, but he's been outstanding tonight. The length is not really going to grow. 90 pitch area for Scott, and the 80th pitch of the night for Nola misses to Benj.
Nola also had to get started a little bit earlier this year. He pitched for Team Italy.
And was great, right?
Phenomenal.
In there for a strike to the 19th overall pick by the Mets in 24 out of Oklahoma State. The class of 24 is making a massive impact at the major league level. And this one to Harper, and Turner misplayed that thing, and that's going to be another error. Trey Turner, and good hustle from Benj to get to second base.
Yeah, and you're going to hear a little booze here and there. Again, negative 38 when it comes to defensive run saved. They have done a nice job on this one. But watch his first step. As soon as he comes in, he charges immediately, gets caught in between. Committed and never made that adjustment because he's thinking Benj is really busting it down the line, and that ball just eats him up. He allows that second hop. It's one of those things where Trey Turner trying to get everything on the run one-handed feels a little bit more athletic than trying to set his feet.
13th error this season for Trey Turner. And a really good read here by Benj. He looks up now, and now I'm gone.
Love the no hesitation side of it either.
Curveball at 79. Benj sort of had that look when he first hit it, like, all right, that's going to be an out, and then all of a sudden he accelerated.
Two one.
As Nola has acknowledged, he is so used to giving so many innings over his career in Philadelphia. That one gets the outside corner. Polanco thought about it. Didn't challenge. It goes 2-2. But to consider yourself that guy and then to start to see maybe some cracks, what's the best way to deal with it other than to get better?
Well, that's what I was going to say. If you don't like it, play better. But I mean, there's not much you can do. This is the way the game's managed these days. You really just have to go out there and be as efficient as possible. I think that's why you never stop learning, you never stop improving.
Picks up a big strikeout on a curveball of Polanco, and there are two down.
Here's that curveball from Aaron Nola once again. It's been the pitch he's been riding all night. That and the changeup. Starts down the middle, looks awfully juicy, right? And then gives out below the zone. So devastating pitch, even in his more advanced age for a baseball player. That pitch has not left him.
Swing and a miss here from Young. Kirkring throws in the bullpen. Young looks at 0-1. Nola trying to work around a Turner error. Right back to the curveball.
Yeah, Uncle Charlie's made his presence known in this game. 2 pitches out of the zone, 2 swings and misses.
But now you can go ahead and triple up on that below the zone, or you can go fastball up. You got a lot to play with here.
Into the mitt, another strikeout. A good inning for Aaron Nola, who thought he had a quick one. But the error by Turner got Benj to second, where he will get stranded. Half dozen punch outs for Uncle Charlie and his good buddy Aaron Nola. Tomorrow night, great matchup in the AUSL. Texas Volt take on the Portland Cascade. Coverage begins of the women's softball at 8 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. Justin Crawford looks at strike one. Fastball 95 from a very good pitching Christian Scott tonight, 7 strikeouts, 2 in the 5th. And only 68 pitches have been thrown. He's been terrific getting ahead. And landing that one as well.
He really has, Carl. It's always the key. You know, it's not rocket science. You get ahead of the batters, you got a much better chance. But I love the aggression he's come out with tonight. Throwing strikes with all of his pitches and really putting himself on the front foot.
0-2. Late on that one. Brooks Raley's up on the Mets bullpen, but again, 70. He's got leashed to 90. Again, the conditions tonight with the smoke and the temperature taxing the players. The Mets up 1-0 on a Francisco Alvarez blast to center.
1-2.
What's the difference between the Mets and the Phillies? Starting pitching certainly been one of them. Close games have been another. The Mets have the 2nd worst record in 1-run games. And this one up the middle. Lindor will charge it and field it cleanly. The Phillies are the best in 1-run games at 19-6. So here is the look. This was pregame today, and you can see what it looked like August of 2025 to hammer the point home as the conditions deteriorate. Take a look at now where the city has all but disappeared compared to that night in August. As Buster said, the quality index continues to hover in the 130s, where it becomes unhealthy at the number 200. And that's for everybody. The unhealthy for those compromised is lower than 200.
It's going to be fun to watch now. 3rd time around the order. Veteran guys coming up for the Philadelphia Phillies. See how they make the adjustment to Scott. It's how Scott makes the adjustment to them.
Ball's behind Turner, 2-0. Alvarez sets up outside, and that ball came way inside. And Turner swung and missed.
He committed to that one before Scott had released the baseball.
Yeah, and that's the happy accident for a pitcher, too. You try to go down and away. You're a little bit late with your hand, and you get that screaming heater up and in, running in towards the batter.
Down.
You see the reaction right there by Turner. Hips flying out, balls in the, away, down and away, and his hips are already flying, looking in. You can tell that's where Turner's looking for right now.
Broken bat and a little liner, soft liner to Beatty. He got him with a cutter.
Yeah, there it is, Eduardo. Left foot, heads out towards 3rd base, looking to pull something. You run out of bat, cap it off the end. Don't have that same level of length in your swing when you don't stay in there. Yeah, there it is. Catches it right off the end. Just not quite committed to going diving over the plate and getting that pitch. I think that pitch up and in really set that up.
The miss.
Yeah, the miss.
Schwarber swings at the first one.
Got away with that one. Every cutter that he's thrown Schwarber has been hard in. Not allowing him to extend. That one leaked out over. Schwarber's wanted that one back.
3 straight lefties here with 2 down. He has not had near the success against lefties, Scott, and righties, and Schwarber sends one to the seats. Will it be? Yes, his 33rd of the year. It comes back on the playing field, and it looks like it was off the top of the wall and not a homer for Schwarber. Right off the top, and it comes back. It'll be a double for Kyle Schwarber. You see some fans up there saying, take a look at it.
I think they are going to take a look at it. The fans are saying that it was a home run. Oh my.
That's the top of the railing.
Live and in play, this is a crew chief review.
Okay, I have a bone to pick with the bucket hat guy that's right there with his mouth open. You have to make that play. You have a glove in your hand, and you did not make the play. You make that play, that's a home run for the Philadelphia Phillies. Why are you covering yourself when you have a glove in your hand? That defeats the purpose, Carl.
The railing defeated the purpose for the Phillies and their fans.
Looked like a buddy of mine, Suki, when he was out there in the outfield and a ball was going right at him, and he did not want any part of it.
Short-armed it?
Short-armed it. as a Philly fan, you have to make that play. You brought a glove to the ballpark.
I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss, Eduardo. I mean, you have the glove with you.
What are we doing?
It looks like his bid for a major league leading 33rd might be derailed.
I see what you're doing. Come on.
Philly fans booing the bucket hat guy?
This is what I'm talking about, the art of the boo. I think, I'm sorry, Buster, but you have to make your way there. How do you bring a glove to the ballpark?
They're showing.
And not make the play.
The ball hit the railing. The railing is in play. The call on the field stands. The runner remains at second base.
That's why the Philly fans are the best at booing.
With that double and the lefties continuing to come up, that's going to be the end of the night for Christian Scott. As close as Schwarber's ever come to a homer that he doesn't get.
Long.
All right, so Schwarber will stand there at second base. And it's now left on left for Bryce Harper. Brooks Raley with an ERA of just over 2, trying to keep this game 1-0. Ball 1 to Harper. You watched Schwarber's reaction to that ball. He thought he got it. Scott thought it was out. Oh, missed. Down. They got him in a rundown. Schwarber. It's short hopped, and it ticks off of Schwarber after it goes in and out of the glove of Bichette. They had him, and then they didn't.
Bad throw. Rare on Francisco Lindor right here, makes it. Got Schwartz and just threw it too low for Bo Bichette to be able to pick it. Schwartz committed to third base, forced.
Just very uncharacteristic. I feel like he had more time than he thought. He got sped up a little bit there.
2 down. Harper.
Up.
Close, a little bit high. Alvarez held it for a while, but no good. So it's 3-0 to Harper. The tying run and Schwarber at third.
Let him loose.
Inside, that'll be a walk for Raley.
Let's go back to the double. Kyle Schwarber, we have to take a look at the first pitch. The cutter that stays right down the middle and gets away with it. Then he throws him the curveball. Right there, Kyle sees it. This one he does not miss. And you see Scott thinking that ball is gone. It held up. Now you got Schwarber at third base, Harper at first base. Inning still alive for Marsh. He's thinking the same thing. Guy brought the glove to the ballpark. Make the play.
Raley, the left-handed specialist, trying to get Marsh, who's had a great year against lefties, but that first one is poured in for a strike.
All right, now that he led Marsh off with a cutter, look for a steady diet of sweepers off of that line, breaking to the outside corner and beyond.
Swung on, popped up. Bichette's going to give it a look, and he's going to run out of room.
Next, let's go.
It's been a frustrating last couple of games for Lindor. We talked about the error that he made with a chance to end the game on Sunday against the Red Sox, which led to them coming back. That was, as you said, felt rushed. He had a chance to easily nail Schwarber, and he doesn't do it. Raley ahead of Marsh, 0-2. He got a good pitch there by Raley. A sweeper at 81 to get out of it. And in a game of inches, Schwarber's ball hits off the railing and back into play. Stays 1-0.
But if I don't win a World Series in the next 3 to 5 years, I would consider that slightly disappointing. I'm extremely worried. You know, between signings where we couldn't get the players on the field and some, you know, lack of performance from some of our younger players, it set us back. And so when you think about, okay, where is the help going to come from? It's really concerning to me.
Yeah, times are changing for Steve Cohen, who's got about $400 million, almost $500 million into this team. And the expectations that he had when he first took over as owner, you recognize there's at least, what, 20 others that are trying to do the exact same thing. Many will say there's 30 others, but you know, the argument that we're getting into with labor, some will suggest their teams don't try like Cohen does. Either way, you realize how difficult it is to put this thing together. That ball is also ripped to right. Did Beatty do it? Yes, this time it's over, and Brett Beatty has left the yard. 5th home run of the year comes off Nola here in the 7th. It's 2-0 Mets.
And for Brett Beatty's 2nd career hit off Aaron Nola, and this one's a big one. Don Mattingly believing in Nola, keeping him in there, and it's Brett Beatty that makes him pay.
Yeah, and after a steady diet of off-speed pitches through the last few innings from Nola, Beatty gets a fastball above the zone and is able to beat it to the spot and take it out. So Mattingly sticks with Nola here in the 7th inning, and he gets burned here on the leadoff batter with Brett Beatty.
4th time that he's seen these guys. Alvarez, who's got a homer already, swings hard at that one. And it's 0-1. We talked with Mattingly before the game about the 3rd time through the order for Nola. The numbers suggest it's really not that dramatic a drop-off. It's amazing once you get tabbed with that label, Adam, how hard it is to shake that label, because you generally don't get chances to do it.
Yeah, no, and it involves trust. You have to earn trust from your manager and from your front office to be allowed to pitch 3rd, 4th time through the order these days. So, you know, even when the stats back you up, sometimes that trust isn't there, and sometimes it's not even your fault. It's more so that you just have a bunch of killers down there in the bullpen that can come in, and they project a little bit better in that spot.
Well, we certainly saw that during the All-Star game, and that was not a traditional bullpen, but the bullpens combined in the All-Star game to strike out 27. 4-0 American League win. It left a lot of batters leaving batters boxes muttering things like, that was gross. Mason Miller was disgusting.
Yeah, it was on full display. The show the American League pitchers put on. I mean, Cade Smith. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Farland 3-1. Nola. Alvarez gets into one to left. Marsh looks up, and that one crawls into the seats. Schwarber got robbed by the railing, and Alvarez hit one just off the top or just above it for his 2nd blast of the night. And back-to-back homers make it 3-0 New York.
Okay, so he hit a home run. First time was on a breaking pitch. Then he was 3-0 on the count the last time up, and he saw 2 sinkers middle in, tracked those, and this time when he got it 3-1, he was waiting for it, he saw it, and he did not miss it.
Francisco Alvarez has been hit by a bat, and he's used his bat to blast 2 more home runs into double figures. Nola's night is over, muttering to himself right now.
Great news.
Back here in a smoky Citizens Bank ballpark to open up the 2nd half of the regular season, and it's the New York Mets who lead the Phillies 3-0. Francisco Alvarez, 7th career multi-home run game. And the new pitcher is Jonathan Molan, the righty. And his first pitch misses off. Big time velocity. And big time strikeout numbers for the tall righty. On the ground, Harper stays down on it, and he fields and steps on the bag to get A.J. Ewing for the first out of the inning. The old baseball is a game of inches. Kyle Schwarber hits one literally off the top of the railing, comes back into the field of play, called a ground rule double. And look at how close Alvarez's came. It snuck over the railing by a couple of inches. As a result, he's got now 11 homers on the year. Now Soto. Home run goes right over the railing there. You got a good chance to be seen on TV, and both guys there, one with the glove, and those two know we've been on TV. Doesn't take long for the text messages to start flying. Soto, a single, a walk, an intentional walk. Had to drive you crazy to see somebody who was so comfortable with 2 strikes on him. Like, you'd look in there and say, he's not, he still thinks he owns me. I don't own him.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest example from my career I can give is facing Carlos Beltran. I felt like no matter what I threw him, he never moved in the batter's box. He always presented that appearance that he was in control, that anything I threw over that white thing, he was going to hit hard, and there was really no wiggle room there. And I think that's the same presentation that Juan Soto's giving.
Checks his swing. So we're blessed to have Sarah Langs in the booth tonight. Sarah's made the trip to Philadelphia for the Derby and the All-Star game, and is working with us in the booth. These are the types of things that Sarah Langs comes up with regards to the Alvarez home run that just cleared the fence. As Soto looks at a 1-2, it's 2-2. She says the Alvarez homer that cleared the fence was blown out plus a foot and pushed 3 feet left by the wind. A calm night would have had that hit a little more than half a foot below the top of the fence and not been a homer. A Langs bomb. I got you.
And when it comes to Juan Soto, because it's Juan Soto, foul tip, the catcher doesn't catch it. The guy that's hitting 180, that's strike 3 right there. The catcher seems to always get it. He's got a little bit more loft in his swing than he did a few years back, sacrificing a little bit more of the line drive to get the ball in the air.
And look where he is, right back to 3-2. Just because you jump ahead of Juan Soto doesn't mean you're going to get him out very quickly.
Hardly.
And he makes adjustments. He doesn't turn that right foot towards the inside part. He stays level, also chokes up a bit on the bat. He understands the value of putting the ball in play.
And he takes it. He's reached base 4 times tonight. An amazing Soto-esque performance with 2 walks and an intentional walk and a single.
That was a great take. That pitch trended as a strike for quite a while. And he already sped him up in the at-bat with fastballs. So, I mean, this ability to lay off tough pitches that Juan Soto has, it's one of a kind.
You see the shake of his head. Boland's like, how did he take that? It's Juan Soto.
Yeah, and I think Juan Soto gets more pleasure in that reaction from a pitcher than almost any other one. You know, when you look at the batter and you say, man, how'd you not swing at that? I think that's the ultimate for him.
Shet fouls one off of his foot. 954 walks. Far and away the most by somebody as young as Soto in the history of the game. We need the microphone on Harper now to hear what they're talking about and laughing about. Boland replacing Nola after we gave up another homer and a ground ball. He thought about barehanding it. Turner steps on and fires. Soto down on the grass to get out of the way of any throw. Was it the grass monster, or did he do it on purpose?
I think he just did not want to get hit in the head.
Back-to-back Met blasts. Beatty and Alvarez. It's 3-0 in New York. ESPN Baseball is presented tonight by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Buster Olney, Eduardo Perez, Adam Ottavino. I'm Carl Ravitch. Our producer tonight, Andy Jacobson, Sarah Langs, and Ed Svita both up here in the booth. Assisting us is Oscar Brazoban now on, and the first one is hit to Bichette. Has to back up, long throw, and it is held on the bag there. Good job by Young. And on one pitch, Alec Bohm is retired.
It's a nice play by Bichette. We all go back to spring training and all the work that Bo Bichette did, getting it adjusted to third base. He plays a little bit deeper, feels a little bit more comfortable there. There he goes back, and he trusts his strong arm to make it across the diamond.
Now Stott. That is a fastball, hard one at 97. So what's the thinking there as an infielder, Eduardo, or even you, Adam? We saw Bichette, similar play, throw a two-hopper over to first. Why that time do you go in the air?
He was going to his left, did a 360, a little bit different than when he was backhanding it last time, and he was going away from the bag.
Stott slices one into the seats. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts tonight. There's Brazoban's numbers. Phillies have Seth Johnson warming up. There's a handful of relievers. We'll bring Buster Olney back into the conversation that teams will call the Mets about. Some of them soon to be free agents, but this guy is certainly going to be on the radar of some teams. What's the feel on the Met relief core?
You would assume, Carl, that these conversations are picking up steam. I talked to several GMs today, and they said that really people in the industry were taking the last few days off after the draft, but today they're reconnecting and they're talking to each other. And you laid it out how the Mets situation is so clear.
1-2. Stott hits this one well towards the gap. Ewing is going over, and he's there to pick it off as the ball reached the track. Good tracking by Ewing.
Man, he went a long way for this ball out in center field. Ewing originally positioned in slightly left center field. Got a great read off the bat, chased it all the way and catches it in front of the Philly bullpen out there.
Buster, any more thoughts on the Met?
Oh, yes. Yeah, especially with the Tigers and the Red Sox, you know, getting back into contention. The Mets could be the one-stop shop for a lot of teams for pitchers because they got Freddie Peralta, of course, and at some point Clay Holmes, who's coming back from that broken fibula earlier this year. They have A.J. Minter, Brooks Raley.
Yeah.
You mentioned Brazoban. He's another guy. And I do wonder if the Mets will certainly listen on Luke Weaver, who's got one more year on his contract. But with the volatility of relievers, maybe they'd be open-minded to something. And from the Mets' perspective, yeah, there have certainly been situations in the past where they wouldn't want to deal with a division rival. They wouldn't want to deal with the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's kind of wide open right now, where they can just simply focus on trying to make deals that make this team better going forward.
Is Devin Williams not tradable because of the contract and maybe his season? Is somebody like Luis Robert tradable?
Yeah, look, well, Luis Robert has an expensive option at the end of the year. If people believe that he could come back with the need for right-handed hitting, yeah, maybe somebody would take a shot at him if the Mets were to eat some of his salary this year. You know, the fact is that this is where the Mets' resources come in handy. Where they can pay down some contracts if that's what it would take to make a deal. But because they're just going to be so few sellers this year, I think the Mets are actually in a good position to make some good deals, assuming they pick the right guys.
That is a foul tip.
You don't want to say it's a silver lining because after last year's collapse and this year they're on a pace to win 66 games, there would be their worst season in more than 3 decades. At least they can come out with some more assets from some of these trades.
Yeah, it's just never a conversation you want to have about your team in July. The other part of it, we'll have this conversation in the next inning, but you're looking at an interim manager on both sides here in Philadelphia and New York. 3-2. And of of course, Chad Tracy in Boston is an interim manager. As you take a look at the worst record since the August of 2025. So it's not this year alone. It's August of last year. Lindor will charge. Real Muto used to be able to fly, but he is nailed there. We'll get into the Alex Cora discussion. Is there an interest in either of these franchises to bring him in as their next manager? And does he have interest in doing it? Shohei is coming to town. Philadelphia welcomes the Dodgers, and we'll be here for that game at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then the Cardinals and Angels at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Walker, the home run derby champion, Mike Trout. Get both games live on ESPN, streaming on the ESPN app. Conditions here at Citizens Bank Park deteriorating. It feels like a fog, but it's smoke that is rolling in. And Iasonia went over to talk to the outfielders for the Mets before they came off the field, asking how it is out there. And they said it's getting darker out there. Their breathing appeared to be okay. As we get set to start the top of the 8th inning with the Mets up 3-0. Thanks to 2 Francisco Alvarez homers and a Brett Beatty blast. Phillies have Seth Johnson on the mound. We called earlier today for tonight's game his 4th stint with the Phils this season. You see the numbers for him. They also found out over the break, as Mattingly's told us, Brad Keller, who was originally put on the 15-day injured list on Thursday, a tear in his UCL. That brought Johnson back up, and Mattingly said Keller done for the season.
Well, unfortunately, it's a little all too common for pitchers to hear that news. I heard it myself. It's a tough pill to swallow, but you do your rehab, you know you'll be back. But no doubt it hurts in the moment.
Lindor swings at it, sends it up sky high into the smoke. Who's going to get it? It's Turner who's underneath it, and he makes the play. It wasn't easy, and you can see what he's saying to his teammate.
Food in the oven but don't want to miss a pitch? Just tell Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
Catching a high fly is hard enough, fellas, but you can see Turner's reaction looking over at his buddy Bohm. That was not easy.
Yeah, they're having conversations out there right now.
Bench quickly rolls one over to second. Stott, who's been solid tonight, is there to make the play. Bench retired. Take a look at what Turner was looking at.
And you look at Turner, he goes after, does not take his eye off of it. Bohm also on it. Conversations in the dugout and on the field. It's like, do not give in on any of them. And I think Crawford had a little trouble being able to pick it up as well.
Turner's first reaction, his hands went upwards like I don't see it. Somehow he was able to pick it up. For Polanco here in the 8th with 2 down. Johnson's first one misses. Luke Weaver now throwing in the New York Mets bullpen. Liner to left. Marsh back. Still back. And he reaches and makes the catch. Half a snow cone with a flip to a fan. We go bottom of the 8th. 8-9, then the top of the order after Marsh with a marshmallow in left.
If sitting.
That express written consent.
ESPN's presentation of the Phillies Mets game here is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Bundle your home and auto with Liberty Mutual Insurance. Luke Weaver has come into the game as we see the Mets, who have gone yards, celebrating their home runs tonight as they try to start the second half on a good note. center field. And underneath and camping there to make the play is A.J. Ewing. Tyrone Taylor's into left field for the New York Mets. Juan Soto out of the game. So Taylor in for Soto. We'll see if there's a reason he was taken out of this game.
Defense.
Just defense in a 3-0 game.
Taken out for defense.
Weaver deals to Crawford, and that's in there for a strike. 50% of the time, Weaver will throw yourself a fastball, changeup 35, and a cutter every now and then. Another one up into the air. Bichette and Lindor. It's Bichette. Weaver's got 2 outs on fly balls.
Yeah, Luke's been unbelievably locked in over the last 2 months. Gone completely scoreless. He's all over the strike zone. He seems to have a perfect feel this year for his fastball at the top of the zone and the bottom of the zone, as well as the changeup at the bottom. So he's got it all working, and he's just trying to stay in this state as long as he possibly can.
Adam, would you consider moving him, a reliever?
I mean, I would listen. I would be a little reluctant to, considering that the Mets want to contend next season, but I would certainly listen and see if somebody makes you an offer you can't refuse.
And given the state that there are so few sellers, it appears, that'll probably ratchet up the price tag they can put on him.
2 down, working to Turner. And Weaver. And that ball is smoked left field and deep. And this one is out of here. Trey Turner. Touch him all time.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah, welcome to the play-by-play.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, boy.
Locked in, and that one is the 11th of the year for Trey Turner.
And this is what they also need from Trey Turner. A little popping at the top of the order. They've been getting it from Schwarber when Turner was down, and Turner this time 101 miles per hour, fastball right down the middle, does not miss. Gets perfect extension. As soon as he hit it, he knew it.
Well, we were talking earlier in the game, it looked like Trey was hunting something middle in. So that held up there and got something middle in, turned on it.
Here is Schwarber, robbed by a railing of his 33rd homer of the year earlier, and he looks at strike 1 right on the corner at 95 from Weaver. Closing games out, it's been a bit of an issue for the Mets along with many others, and they got a 2-run lead now. Down. Kyle Schwarber's bat speed in 2023 was about 77 miles an hour. In 2026, it is still right around 77 miles an hour. He has lost nothing. He has seen a handful of pitches come close to that uniform of his on the inside. You can see why. The last time he was able to get his arms extended, he went for a double. He rolls one over here. Second hop is a charity one for Beatty, and Schwarber is retired. They've had his number 3 times with the exception of the double. But Trey Turner makes it a little interesting as he goes Yardo, exit stage left on a fastball in. We go to the 9th. The Phillies down by 2 to the Mets, 3-1 on ESPN.
For life.
Take home a piece of the game. Bid on game used jerseys, baseballs, bases, and more at auctions.mlb.com. 9th inning, first pitch thrown from Seth Johnston is ball 1. Let's get Buster back in here. Buster, the other guy that's a free agent out there, if you will, is Alex Cora, and he's got a relationship with Dave Dombrowski. Not sure what the interest would be since the Phillies have been so good under Mattingly. And the Mets, I would assume, would have an interest in Alex Cora.
Yeah, considering that he's regarded as one of the best managers in baseball. Look, Cora, as we know, was offered the Phillies job. He turned that down. Don Mattingly told us last week that he would be interested in staying beyond 2026. We don't know how that's going to affect the thinking of Dombrowski. John Middleton, who of course owns the Phillies. So the question is, will the Mets pursue Alex Cora at the end of the year?
So you think that the Phillies, because he said no when he was available early, have ruled him out?
No, I don't know. We don't know how that's going to play. The fact that Mattingly wants to remain as manager, the fact that they've been playing well since he took over, we don't yet know whether or not that's going to be parlayed into a contract going forward.
Yeah, unfair. It's an unfair conversation for both guys. Clearly, the win-loss for Mattingly has been better than Green, who just started here, but the elephant in the room is that guy and the relationships that he's got, certainly with Philadelphia. Young will draw the walk to lead this 9th inning off.
And of course, the question of what Alex wants to do.
Eduardo, you know him pretty well. What do you think his interest is in?
I'll tell you right now, his interest is in his kids. Right now, first and foremost, and I think the more time he spends with them, let's not forget he's still getting paid throughout next season as well, the more he has time to really see what is important for him at this moment in his career.
Beatty hits this one into the bat. Marsh came in and now ranges to his right to make the play.
It has to be an offer that he cannot turn down, and that's the thing, and he loved working with Dave Dombrowski as well.
I think the fact that he's still getting paid is really key here. He can sit back, he can wait, he can see what the opportunities are, he can take them as they come. You know, he's a very calculated person. He's one of my favorite managers I ever had. I'm sure when he dives back in, he'll be fully ready.
Beatty and Alvarez have done the damage. 4 for 6, 3 homers, 2 of them from this guy right here in Alvarez. The other guys haven't had much success at all, with the exception of Soto, who reached base 4 times. Power pitch on the outside at 99 from Johnson. Devin Williams is warming in the Mets bullpen. Straw, David Wright, and Francisco Alvarez, multi-homer games before turning the age of 25.
Well, they're certainly going to work him away here after he turned on that sinker in the last at bat. See if he can do something in right field.
He's got the power to do it. 1-1, another one way outside. And he goes 2-1. They've kind of made a move, it feels like, a little bit more towards Luis Torrens behind the plate and have Alvarez act as a DH while at the same time catching. Gave Torrens a couple years on a contract. Alvarez takes a big swing there.
And Carl, interestingly, right now there are some contending teams looking for catching. The Yankees for sure. We wonder about the Dodgers because of the physical uncertainty about Will Smith. Francisco Alvarez has been mentioned.
Well, a healthy Francisco Alvarez can help any team. Last year just had a lot of injuries, especially with his hands. The hamate out of during spring training early on, then sliding in the Little League Classic at second base as well, getting hurt.
2-2, 2 homers for Alvarez. Swung on and a sword swing. He's gone second out of the inning, and a strikeout for Johnson.
Carl, as long as we're talking about trade stuff, Chelsea Janes, who used to work for the Washington Post, now works for SNY, the Mets network, reported a couple of hours ago that the Mets have informed their team, this is a rival executive, that everyone but Carson Bench, A.J. Ewing, Christian Scott, Nolan McLean, and Juan Soto is available, which is really interesting.
All right, so is it really interesting because of the names that aren't on that list?
Correct. And one of those names not on that list is Francisco Lindor.
Yep.
So we'll see where that goes. And boy, it would be a complicated midseason trade given the money owed to Lindor. But the report saying the Mets are willing to listen.
That one is down. Read the list again, just in case there are Met fans out there who didn't hear who allegedly is not going to be traded.
According to the report, everyone but young stars Carson Benj, A.J. Ewing, Christian Scott, Nolan McLean, and Juan Soto.
Okay. What does that list tell you, Adam, about the Mets' willingness to transition?
I mean, I think it just shows where they're at right now. They're trying to figure out the path forward. All options have to be on the table. You never know what you're going to get offered. Certainly, there's pieces that are coming up on free agency, particularly in the bullpen, that they definitely will move. But the fact that they're listening on everything shows that they have the right approach. I mean, you never know what's going to get offered. At the end of the day, closing yourself off from something doesn't help you.
Fair ball. That one is into the corner. Marsh didn't know if it was going to ricochet back. He has to go to the wall to pick it up. The run comes in and scores. A.J. Ewing delivers an RBI double to increase the lead to 3, and Marsh didn't know if that was going to hit off that fence and bounce back towards the infield or scurry along the wall. And as a result, it went to the wall.
Right, and this is the only way you can play it if you're Marsh. You don't know if it's going to hit that corner and just stay there or not. Plays it as best as he can, but the ability that Ewing had with that short swing on a 1-2 count to keep that ball fair, really impressive. Allowing that ball to get really deep. Heck of a swing in that bat.
Soto's spot in the lineup is back up, but instead it's Taylor who's swinging.
That's a
see the shift. That's perfect.
That ball's in the air. It turns out to be foul. A lot of people are wondering, why is Juan Soto not in here? Is it something that he got hurt or not? I truly believe it's just purely because of defense right here. And if he were to come up to bat, which he is, they still have the lead. Their job right now is to just preserve that 3-run lead right now with your best defense.
Well, we'll see. Weaver threw only 8 pitches, but Williams was warming up. Can they close it out as we go to bottom of the 9th?
Multitask.
We are back, and Francisco Alvarez, 2 bombs tonight. Brett Beatty also leaves the yard for the 5th time. They get some insurance as Devin Williams is now into the game for the Mets. He's looking for his 100th career save. Then the Mets had won 130 straight when leading by multiple runs entering the 9th until Sunday. Before the break, before the Lindor error. He would have picked it up then, but the error cost him, and now he's back on the mound here. He'll get Harper, Marsh, and Bohm. Harper fouls the first one back. Michael Eaves and Nicole Briscoe will have the day in sports. That's coming up next. A little early call. If the Mets are able to hold on, they will talk with the multi-home run guy, Francisco Alvarez. Harper swings and misses at the airbender, the changeup, and it's 0-2.
Goodness gracious, that's nasty. If he can keep that right there, right below the zone on the outer third, he's going to have success.
1-2.
The pitches are still there for Devin Williams. They really are. He's had a few innings snowball on him this year, and I know how last year went, but there's nothing wrong with that airbender, especially when he can locate it like that.
How important is it for somebody who relies so much on that changeup to make sure that your fastballs are close enough that a guy like Harper or anyone else would offer at it? It feels like that's part 1 to the part 2. Harper on the ground, fielded cleanly by Beatty.
Yeah, it's huge, Carl. I mean, when you're a two-pitch pitcher like Devin is, the pitches play off of each other. If one of the executions is off, it's going to affect the other. And at times, the last 2 years, it's mostly been a location issue with him, pulling a couple changeups down and in, not being competitive enough with the fastball. But the stuff really is still there. So I think a good stretch of pitching for Devin Williams is right on the horizon.
He speeds you up, elevated fastballs, at least changes your eye level with it. And then the action that he has on the changeup that you know as a hitter, he has it in his back pocket. He can back to back it on you at any time. Really works. It's almost like a splitter action.
Yeah, and I do wonder if the league's just seen it a lot, and that's part of it, you know? I mean, as good as it is, it really catches your attention, right? Every single hitter sees it, and they say, man, next time I'm going to have a whole different game plan for that. And now he's been around long enough that everybody's seen it a bunch. So, yeah, it gets more challenging as you go, but those components are there.
Is it the pitch, which clearly they've seen a lot, or is it the delivery of the pitch? Is there anything that you pick up on when he throws it that you say, I know that's what's coming now?
No, he throws 96 miles per hour still. That's the thing. Unless he's tipping as a hitter, it is hard to just sit changeup.
Liner left field, caught out there by Taylor. And there are 2 outs as the Mets look to close this one out and start the second half on a good note.
There had been a little data that showed that he was spinning his changeup a little bit differently over the last year or two than he had early on in the career, but the movement remained pretty constant. So to me, I didn't look at that immediately and say, oh, the changeup's broken. It just felt like, okay, that's the natural way of things, you know, drifting one way or another naturally as us humans do. But I still think the pitch has great movement. If anything, he might want to think about adding something to the repertoire, but that fastball and changeup are a pretty good place to start for any guy.
94 right by Alec Bohm.
That's that elevated pitch. 3 consecutive fastballs already. Make that 4.
Well, Christian Scott was very, very good to start this game for the New York Mets, holding down a good offense. And then the bullpen has done its job. That's too far outside.
1-2. How about a little bottom of the order thunder for the Mets today? Alvarez and Beatty. Yeah, gotta love that. They've been waiting on those guys to carry the team for a while, and for one night at least, everything clicked.
Williams on a 1-2 swing and a miss. Alvarez will touch Bohm, and that will end the game. Bottom of the order blast from Beatty, 2 from Alvarez, a good start from Scott, and save number 100 in the career of Devin Williams.
How about that? Devin Williams getting career save number 100 after 2 consecutive chain of fastballs up in the zone. Then you get that right there, the changeup, to get his 100th save.
Well, the New York Mets take care of the Philadelphia Phillies. Major League Baseball, with the cooperation of both teams, gets this second half opener in, given the conditions outside, and it has gotten worse as the night has gone on. We are grateful and appreciate you all for tuning this one in. We'll see you Monday night for our next game. It will be the Phillies and the Dodgers. With Adam Ottavino and Eduardo Perez, and for everyone in the control room, Ed Spida, our good friend Sarah Langs, and Buster Olney, I'm Carl Ravitch. We send it down in a